Hello and welcome back to Galactic Goddess Podcast. I'm your host, Rada Nilia, and today we have a very special guest, Miss Lori Roddy. Welcome, Lori.
Hi.
Today we're going to be talking about light language because it's a magical thing and we both love it so much. Lori, would you like to share a little bit about your experience with light language?
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Like 10 years ago, this word light language came into my head. I had no idea what it was and totally forgot about it, but it was like one of those little check marks of one day I'll get back to that. And so I went to an amazing spa one day in up in Canada or whatever, and I met this amazing lady, and she we're having this great conversation, and she starts speaking light language to me, and I was like, I said I always wanted to learn light language, and she was speaking Lyrian, which is the feline race. And I was just like blown away because cats have been like such a big part of my life. Every time one passes, another universe sends me another kitty.
Oh.
So she activated something in me. And about 6 months later, I went to yoga, and one of the instructors there spoke light language. And so I said, we have to get together. I said, this has been on my radar, and I want to like just know more about it. So she did it as well, spoke it to me. And then literally the next day I was speaking. And I was like, it was so weird, but it felt so comfortable and so right. And I do a lot of singing with light language, and it was really crazy because like 6 months prior to that, I was asking everyone, do you know where I could take like sing, like where could I sing, and so then the light language came through, and I do a lot of singing. So it was like it was ready, it was time.
Wow, that's so beautiful. It's amazing how these things activate in like different times and divine timing because that's kind of miraculous that you met a woman and just activated you. That's how activations work, when we're in the presence of someone that's activated with the light language, we too can also be activated. And I love that it was Lyrian. So do you know which kind of light language you do?
Um, Kind of a lot actually. It was really cool because after I got activated the second time, the girl was telling me about Jamie Price, and and so I just typed in Jamie Price, and then I found a retreat literally a month later in Sedona, and I was like, I think I need to be there. So literally, I like put in the universe everything that I wanted in an Airbnb, found the exact Airbnb so I could walk to the place where the retreat was being held. And it was a 3-day retreat, and she taught us so much. She taught us how to write. Like we just she helped activate, so we were writing, singing, and signing. So we do the signing as well, which is just like a moving of energy. I call it like dancing hands. But her book was amazing because there's so many different that come through us. It could be galactic, it could be angelic, it could be all different. The fairies come through, Lemurian, and I don't really know what comes through because the whole part of light language is it literally bypasses our brain and goes directly into our heart, and our heart just knows. And that's the part that I love because I'm a lot of analytical mind, and I'm always wanting to know everything. And this taught me to just allow it to be. So I don't even know what I'm saying, but I know it feels really good in my heart.
Yes, I think that's the key too. I am a lover of light language. I put on the headphones, I love to listen to them, and I know when I resonate with it, it just starts my heart will start to expand. I'll get kind of tingling feeling, and I can tell, you can tell if it's divine, and it's just such a beautiful gift, and I'm so excited that more people are getting activated and that people are sharing because that's what we're here to do is share so the light language is a beautiful gift that the whole across the world, and even people that don't speak the same languages, like they could do it and then you still feel the resonance. So it's a language beyond the barriers of our language. It's a cosmic language, and I always felt like I read light codes, like I was always drawn to light codes, and I don't know, I could read them, like, they would come on appear, like, on the wall with the light coming in, and then I'd be like I would just be like, "Yes," and I'd just download it because I understand that it's talking to me, and it would move in this way. These light codes would move in this way that they were coded, and they were part of, activating something inside me, and I knew it was benevolent, and I knew that it was coming also, from, like, my Lemurian ancestor too, so I know that when I see the light codes is coming from my Lemurian ancestor, and I receive them, I accept them, I download them, and I just look at them, and I kind of download, so light language, can come, yeah, like you said, it's like the voice, it's like light codes, and it's like hand movement, the hand movements. It's like this, like your hands actually speak language. It's very hard to explain, but when I see it, I'm like, yeah, download. I love it.
Oh, I love it. And it's so automatic too. It's like I always feel like I'm like the the in the orchestra, just moving the hands and everything. It's just so beautiful. I know. I really want everybody to feel what it feels like because it's an ancient way of communicating, I imagine. I don't even really know, but it just feels really good.
It's delicious. Do you feel inspired to want to share any today?
Yeah. I love it. I never know what's gonna come through either. That's what's so fun. I have a lot of dialect, so it's like I usually do an intention. So let's just do bring in a light language transmission for the highest good for this beautiful earth and for all the people listening to Radha's and my talk about light language. I'm going to bring this highest vibration of love. I
Oh,
don't ever know what comes through.
so beautiful. I had to just close my eyes and just because it was really moving through my heart chakra and through my shoulders, just expanding, like opening it. It felt very opening, like yeah, that's a feeling. It's like open, open, open. Take a deep breath and open. So angelic. I just resonate with that frequency. It's delicious, delightful. It reminds me of when, like harp players and they play the harp and that kind of frequency that comes through is so delicious. I've always loved the harp and I've always been like, I need to get a harp and just pluck it for fun. 'Cause there's something absolutely exquisite. It feels like the angels are singing, and that's how light language can feel. How it transmitted through you is very angelic and beautiful. Oh, God, thank you so much. I receive. Thank you.
I definitely feel like that was the angelic one. It's so different from all the others, but that's the one that I probably sing the most. And I mean, I could literally go on and on and on, but singing it because it just feels so beautiful. And maybe that's that direct connection that we're all longing for, that, cosmic universal song. And it's just tapping right in.
Wow. When you are in your light language transmission, do you feel it coming through your crown or where do you feel it coming through your energy body?
It's a good question. This particular time, I felt a lot of heart energy. I
Mm.
felt it like all around the sides and
Yeah.
and yeah, like I really felt a lot of that. But it's different every time. It's
Mhm.
different every time.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's kind of like yeah, it felt like it was inviting us to open our hearts and unfurl our wings. Our galactic wings that we have, they've been sort of crunched up for a long time.
Love that
We need to
visual.
open up. Open up, open up. There's more strength, I think. It's so easy to just when we close down because our heart is like, I can't handle this. It's so much, pain in the world right now. And I need to protect. So that's like protecting. It's like collapsing the heart, and so reminding us that it's okay to open, that it's safe when and do you notice you guys can just try this too, like when we're kind of collapsed like that, our heart isn't able to receive as much love, right? So then when we take a deep breath, roll our shoulders back, I can feel so much more. And it's like we have to practice this too. So thank you. This was an activation in opening the heart, opening the chest, allowing to receive. And I think that's where we all need to start doing more because the misnomer that we're we're protected, we protect like that we're more protected. But the truth is when our hearts open, we are more protected. And that's the interesting thing. It's totally rewinding and relearning, I think. Um, I One of our authors, Eric Rains, he is brilliant healer and he has been in quite a few of our books. And so he always said, like, you want to like actually, um, like expand your heart out. Like if there's uncomfortable, weird energy, like distorted energy, you don't want to shut it down or fight it because it's not it still kind of attacks, so what is your defense is opening your heart, expanding that energy out. And so that heart energy is so powerful. And that's you have to come into love, like when you're really scared, you don't want to go into the fear, you want to go into your heart and expand into love. It's kind of wild because, we've been taught the other way, and I think we're all unlearning, unfurling these misnomers that we've been taught, and it's so cellular in our body. And I think light language just breaks all the barriers of because we can't think about this too much. We just have to feel it. We have to be it. And over processing mentally doesn't always help, like that's why we it's really important to just feel. And I love the light language. It goes straight to the heart. And like what you just did was so delicious. I could listen to that all day. All night. It's beautiful. We're here to bring back the sacred energy in this coding. So I'm really happy that you shared. And it takes courage to share because it's very probably vulnerable, to sort of just open up in that way.
I love it. Like I feel so comfortable doing light language. It's just such a part of who I am. And I love what you said earlier about unfurling our wings because I was writing in my journal this morning and I wrote growing and I'm like, wait, wing is in growing. And so we're here to furl our wings so we can fly. So we remember how to fly high. And I was just like, wow, I did a little fairy light language on that whole thing this morning, which is really funny.
Oh, oh my goodness. I love the fairies. I love the fairy realm, that magical kingdom. I was so into that as a little girl. But I really I really believe that fairies are real, because I was so into it that I actually I used to go to the park and I would sort of do my offerings to the fairies because I
Oh,
knew I wanted to meet one. And I actually did meet one when I was leaving with a group of friends. We were on our way out and I was like, I haven't seen a fairy. And I put my hands in the back of the seat and I would look up and there was this fuchsia ball, and and I was like, "Whoa," it wasn't exactly what I thought. It wasn't like this little, winged being that I was imagining, but it was a fuchsia energy ball, and it was, like, illuminating to me, and no one else saw it. I mean, no one else was looking back, no one it's amazing how when you are looking for something, you will find it because it exists, but your heart has to be open. My heart was so open, and my little girl inside was like, "That's all I want, is that I just want to meet a fairy." That was, like, my little girl dream come true. So
And your vibration was attuned to them. Well,
yeah.
we could definitely bring some fairies, and they always love to come in.
Ooh, please do.
Okay. Our intention is to bring in some fairy energy and elemental energy for us to feel lighthearted, playful, and to remember we don't have to take life so seriously. We're here to have fun and joy. Kaki kalaho kalahalahele, hola hashino ho kahihato, ukahale hanohoshi. Ikalale kachita no nika. Ikakia no niniana. Hoshikia tikalala kukatu. Tarakikia ukuki karahui kikiau. Tushi tareka no ho hihihi. Oh hihi. Yalo tiki ano tista tiki kiki ao kukalo lere kiki ki alo shutu kukuai ki do kukuai sha shishia.
It's so sweet. Oh my goodness, I just love those little sounds. I had my eyes closed, but then I felt prompted to open because I love the hand movements too. Oh, it just when as you were doing that, I was brought to all like these little books that I had about fairies, and I was like, oh, all the pictures and just to feel the feeling because felt very attuned to fairies as a little girl, and that brought back all those memories, that sweetness and that innocence of like believing, that feeling like I really believed in them and I still do. And but like you forget, as you go on, you're just like, oh, whatever, mundane, real world, let's get to it. But the truth is that there's so much sweetness in innocence, in remembering, wow, I love that. Dolores Cannon talks a lot about she also goes, and they do the fairies, like she's done like regressions on the fairies too
Really
and
nice.
stuff. And then in the Infinite Cosmic Records, I know a lot of people have gone into these enchanted realms, with the fairies like you have. And so these are accessible to us, but it's almost like a frequency, like you said, so we have to get into the frequency of it, and then we can. And so that's exactly what you just did, was bring us into the frequency of the fairy. Yay. I feel like I need my little fairy wings now. I used to always carry a magic wand too when I was a little girl. I used to make them. I used to get like these sticks and I would sew them like a little star. I made my own stuff sometimes
Wow.
because you can't buy a wand at a store. So I made my own wand. I always had my little wand with me. I was
Um,
totally into it.
I love that. Just because we're older doesn't mean we can't carry a little wand and have
Yeah.
our little fairy wings.
Exactly. The magical child, that's an archetype that I love. That's an archetype that we all need to bring back as a collective, the whole world, because the loss of innocence and the loss of the magical child is the reason that everyone's in so much pain, and we've all experienced trauma. I'm not going to lie about that. But the truth is that when we access our magical child, it's like this, it is like the fairy dust to our heart. It kind of brings that healing. So it is important to be open to trying new things, opening your heart, being playful. Okay, maybe you don't really believe it, maybe you do, but just try it, you might like it. You don't know until you try. And I love light language because, yeah, how I see it, it's like you're almost accessing different dimensions. So the frequencies are coming through, and if you're subtle enough to receive them, then you'll feel it in a new way, right? So that's so beautiful. I'm just curious, do you feel like your light language has really activated since you did your infinite cosmic records, or was it always kind of there like that?
I was building upon it,
Yeah.
and I'm still with my class. We do weekly Zoom calls, and so that's just been so amazing for all of us. We've helped each other through this journey, and then with the infinite cosmic records, it probably just enhanced it because I was a more clearer channel, and so I
Uh,
think the more clear that we become, the more we're able to be that vessel for the beautiful light and love to come through. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. I'm just so excited. I'd like to take that class. Light language is such an amazing gift. And I have done it like when I'm in the bathtub, like I'll do it, but I get kind of shy about it. Because I don't know why, but I know something you build towards, because it feels so enchanted, and it feels like in this world, the enchanted is forbidden. It's
Yeah.
almost like we're in a dimension in a plane that is has a lot of cloaking of darkness, and that's not really allowed. You know what I mean? And so I don't believe that's true. It's allowed because we're creating it, because
Right.
we're accessing it. We're we're the transmitters of this energy, but it is like the forbidden fruit in some sense, where being magical, being enchanted is forbidden. But we know that that's not true. We know that's an illusion, and we're um, breaking up
Just
that illusion every time we step into it. And so I really applaud you for, having the courage to come out and be in your light language truth and sharing that gift because it's delicious, delicious, delicious.
well, hopefully it'll activate you as well because it wants to come through. I mean, the water is such a beautiful thing because we used to speak to the water in Lemuri and send all the codes in the water. So yeah, it's ready for you to come through. And like for me, it was just do it outside, do it where no one's around, and then you're just so free. And then the plants and everything, they understand it, they open up to it. So yeah, it's time. It's time for us to break down those old paradigms and bring the magic back with all of us little sweet children that believed in everything and had so much love in our hearts. It's time to bring that. Again, we're birthing the new earth. So we're here to get rid of that old and
That's
bring in the love and the light and
Yes,
happiness.
I feel like every time someone does light language, it's creating like this it's a ripple effect into the world, where it's breaking up some of that heavy darkness, the density, because there is a lot of density. So that counters it, and I think we cannot fight the old. It's like that we don't want to fight that. We want to rise above it, and we want to bring in and anchor in the what's really belonging here, the new codes of the new earth. So thank you so much for coming on today and having a chat about light language. So much fun. So much fun. I just loved it. And I'm going to be thinking about fairies again now. Thank
Thank you so much. That was so fun.
you. And thank you all for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Tune in again soon. I'm sure we'll have Lori on again. Much love and blessings to you all. Bye for now.